Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on Crypto for GrowMyBag.tv. I hope you're having a good one. What's good, what's good, what's good? So, we've got Hive Digital, right? Hive Digital is moving to Texas. I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. Why? Because, they're getting love in Texas. Power, that kind of thing. So, in terms of electricity. So that's actually not surprising to me. What is surprising is they hit an all-time hash rate record for themselves of 6 exahash. And they're predicting that over the next year, they'll be able to achieve 15 with their expansion. That is no joke. That's more than double where they are now. So we're going to have to see how that pans out, but that would probably, bode well for their shareholders and stakeholders. So I'm very interested in what they do and how they do it. Then the next big news, and this is actually really big. Crypto.com is introducing zero commission stock trading in the United States. Let that wash over you for a minute. Zero commission stock trading in the United States being offered by an exchange, a crypto exchange. They're looking to bridge the gap between traditional finance and crypto. That's not a small thing. You'd be sitting there saying, oh, well, Robinhood. Yeah, but that was going in the opposite direction. They were a stock company that started doing crypto. This is a crypto company that's now doing stock. Now, one of the things that I find to be funny is I can see Robinhood's money coming from mostly crypto. They already had a big chunk of it come from crypto. Starting on the crypto side, I'm sitting back and I'm going, this is going to be gravy money for crypto.com, right? They make the bulk of their money on crypto. But zero commission stock trading in the US? Wow. That's not a little wow. That's a big wow. That's a really big wow. So I'm sitting back and I'm just kind of going, they're going to pick up a lot of customers. But you want to know who I don't think they pick up? I don't think they're licensed in New York yet. I don't think they're licensed in New York. That could be a little bit of a problem. But that's still really, really, really big news. Really big news. So imagine on a global level if they were able to achieve that. If they were able to do stock trading around the world alongside crypto trading. I think you're going to see a lot of new accounts pop up on crypto.com. I think you're going to see a lot happen with that company. A lot. That's actually really good news. Now here's another good question for you. How long do you think it'll be before other platforms do the same? So a while ago, I had said that crypto exchanges could become banks and banks could become crypto exchanges. So what happened yesterday? I reported that Morgan Stanley is thinking about doing crypto services via E-Trade. That would be a good move. A very good move. Very, very good move from a strategic perspective. That'd be very smart. But that's a bank, right? Getting into, because they bought E-Trade, so a bank getting into, crypto. It has a bigger implication than what people think, right? I just want to look up one thing. And so, do you want to know who owns Thinkorswim? Charles Schwab, via their purchase of TD Ameritrade. So, if Morgan Stanley does that with E-Trade, that could actually prompt other companies, like a Charles Schwab, to go do that, to go do the same thing, just to keep up. Now, Charles Schwab is not small, but they would probably have to do the same thing just to keep up. Stay with me. Now, I want you to contemplate what services needed to be offered in the crypto space that were already being offered in the stock space, right? All the charts and everything, all that stuff. It's going to affect companies like TradingView, right? Because E-Trade already has that software that can easily overlay crypto. I love TradingView, but I think TradingView might wind up losing out or could get bought up if other companies go and do the same thing, could get bought up by one of these companies, one of these banks. Now, I'm only speculating, but as I play it out in my head, if E-Trade, Morgan Stanley, does the crypto thing, is that going to lead others like a Thinkorswim, which is owned by Ameritrade, which is owned by Charles Schwab? So basically, Ameritrade, TD Ameritrade name goes away, and it's just Thinkorswim by Charles Schwab. Thinkorswim is an awesome platform. A lot of the things that I see on TradingView, I recall seeing on Thinkorswim first. One of the best things that I love about Thinkorswim is I used to be able to watch CNBC while I had my trading desk open. It's one of the best things ever. Didn't have to turn on my television. It was right there. So when I was sitting in an office with my boy Elliot on the other side, we had our trading desks. It was mad convenient. We would just be listening to that, having conversations about what's going on, what are we doing, yada, yada, yada. And I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, wow. The implications that brings to the table is ridiculous. Let me play it back for you. E-Trade gets into the business, spurring inspiration or inspiring others, spurring them into doing it. Thinkorswim, other platforms, right? Existing platforms like a TradingView that are much smaller than those platforms, I could see them getting bought up. I mean, I don't know if IBD has anything or any one of the other banks, but I could see them getting bought for other banks to be able to keep up with the Joneses. And immediately you have banks turning into exchanges, just like I said a couple of years ago. Because next month it'll be 3 years. My first year I called it. I said, you're going to see banks try to become crypto exchanges, but you're probably going to see crypto exchanges become banks first. And the reason why is because they already have everything in line. Now, at some point, you hit this equilibrium, and it doesn't matter who came first, who came second, right? But you would have E-Trade, a really big offering. I think Charles Schwab would absolutely be forced to do same. I think they would absolutely be forced to do same. Because you would then see, because if they didn't, you would see a lot of people bounce from Schwab or Thinkorswim over to E-Trade, just because everything happens all in one spot. Play this out further. What would both of those moves mean, or what would that move mean? It would mean that I can do things on my own. Now, people looked at me funny when I said that ETFs could hit a problem within the next 5 years, and it would be the education of their customers. And people were like, what do you mean, Eddie? Well, this book right here, Crypto Foundations for Building Multi-Generational Wealth, gives you a very good idea about crypto, gets you along your way. If E-Trade were to do this, E-Trade, one of the reasons why people love E-Trade so much, and yes, I've used it, is because they also teach you things like this. So that would mean that they would be educating all of their customers on how to use their platform to buy crypto. Hold the phone. Thinkorswim did the same thing, giving you paper money, meaning fake money, to practice trading. Do you see where this is going? The education of skilled traders. You have everybody on Thinkorswim or E-Trade that go from newbies to highly skilled. That's how strong their platforms are, both of them. If E-Trade were to get there first and make that happen, the education that would come to all of their existing E-Trade customers, who could be ETF customers, they sit there and they go, the heck I need an ETF for if I'm doing this, if I'm doing stocks by myself, and now I can do crypto by myself, and I know how crypto works and all that good stuff. I don't need to pay an ETF. I can do it myself. That would be huge. And I know a lot of people last night were kind of like looking at me cross-eyed like, come on, Eddie, man. These ETFs are going to be here for a long time. And I told you, credit card companies have a longer run, will have a longer run, right, than, everything else, than ETFs. Why is that? Like I said, credit card companies bring something to the table that ETFs don't. We can tie your credit card over to your crypto account and help you pay for things that require fiat. Okay? That's one. Two, couple that with E-Trade, and for all those that took my class on how to do your own research, that news is called floating the bubble. How do people feel? How can we get some immediate feedback on this? I think people are sitting there going, yes, yes. So they're getting immediate feedback by floating the bubble of an idea. Here's the bubble. Those little thought bubbles, that's where it comes from. So they float the bubble and people go, oh my God, that would be freaking brilliant. Because now you're going to have a big boy like E-Trade bump into Robinhood space. When I give you guys the news, I tend to give you, here's the news and here's my opinion on the news. Because I want you guys to learn how to do the same thing. When you do your own research, it's not just about reading this and then moving on, reading that and moving on. It's about reading this and understand that you read something like that a while ago, putting the two together and being able to say, oh, let me formulate this opinion. Because that goes toward how you might trade in the future, right? It's how you learn. So I want to teach people how to fish. It's fun, right? And so when I look at this news, I'm like, so E-Trade, if E-Trade was to get in the game, how fast would it be before everybody starts moving over to E-Trade because they offer the service? And how fast would Charles Schwab have to move to do the same for Thinkorswim? Immediately recreating that rivalry that once was. And let me tell you something. When I first started, I was on E-Trade, and then Thinkorswim came out, and I was like, oh my God, this platform's freaking awesome. That's how I got on the Thinkorswim. Thinkorswim, I wish, would have stayed independent, but I mean, think of Thinkorswim as TradingView. The implications of this move could be huge. And I'm all about it. I'm all for it. I think it would be freaking awesome for E-Trade to do it. Freaking awesome. Because then you're talking about the further adoption of crypto. Then you'll wind up seeing the integration of crypto. For all those small businesses out there that go, wow, it's coming on kind of quick. They're going to call me up and they'll be like, hey, I want to host my website on Rebel Reach because you guys do credit cards, PayPal, and crypto. All of it direct. Meaning nobody pays us and then we pay you. They pay you direct. Kind of awesome, right? No middleman with your money. You pay us a regular monthly fee and you go collect all your money. That's big. That's big. So imagine the ramifications of an E-Trade. You can see the domino effect throughout that whole industry. Self-service stock trading coupled with self-service crypto trading. So there's crypto.com. There would be Morgan Stanley with E-Trade. Is your jaw dropping yet? Does it hurt? I heard it hit the floor. Then you're going to have, like I said, the domino effect across the industry, because Charles Schwab would have to do the same. They would have to follow. Or possibly lose a lot of business. A lot of business. That would be huge. Huger than huge. So I'm sitting back and I'm just going, oh man. Please let this happen. Please let this happen. The educational systems on E-Trade are no joke. Same for Thinkorswim. So imagine turning all of that on for crypto. How many more people would be educated in the crypto space? Oh, I can do this myself. I don't need, an ETF. Would ETFs immediately disappear? No, not at all. But I give it 5 years. The up and coming generations don't want other people to do stuff for them. They don't. That's like a waste. They look at that and that's like a waste of money. I can do it myself. I'll do it myself. They're more savvy. They can handle that thought process. Even though a lot of them are just learning right now. Everybody's just learning right now. But the mantra is, yeah, I can do that myself. I'm not about wasting money. I'd rather take that money that I would have paid you and put that someplace so that it can make money so I can take this trip. Because they're all about living life, living their best life. So yeah, the move by crypto.com is huge. Mind you, the combination was done a long time ago with Robinhood, but nobody was paying attention. Not too many people were paying attention. The crypto.com move, the consideration by Morgan Stanley, if that bubble is out there, I think they're going to do it. There's no definitive answer on whether or not they're going to do it, but if that bubble is out there, I think they're going to do it. That bubble doesn't get out there by mistake. That little thought bubble doesn't pop up by mistake. So that's huge to me. And I just laid out how it would send huge waves through both industries. And like I said, that would cause a lot of people to start to go, yeah. Anybody that's on an E-Trade or a Thinkorswim, anybody that's doing their own trading of stocks, they're going to wind up doing their own trading for crypto and not leave their money in ETFs, because I can do it myself. I have better tools over here to do it. I'm up on the news. I'm up on a whole bunch of stuff. I watch Grow My Bag and Eddie J on crypto. I have everything I need to make it happen myself. Big. That's not little bit big. That's huge. So I want you to pay attention to that ripple effect. Crypto.com introducing zero commission stock trading in the US. They're trying to pull people over. And E-Trade's basically saying, oh, nah, son. No. That's big. So if E-Trade does that, the ripple effect throughout both sides of the industry, traditional finance and crypto, that ripple effect, they wouldn't even be ripples, they would be waves. So to me, that probably is the biggest news of the day. Hive Digital moving over to Texas, yeah, that's cute, whatever. You think you're going to have a higher hash rate? Fine. That's nice. BlackRock ETF losing $330 million in a day. Whatever. That's fine. They have $1.14 trillion in assets under management on the crypto side alone. Whatever. Bitcoin and other Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs losing about $310 million in a day. Whatever. Normal course of action. They'll see inflows again. Whatever. Not a big deal. E-Trade saying, I might. Crypto.com saying, we are. Huge. Huger than huge. Then I look at the Canadian stock exchanges. I look at Canadian banks. I look at other banks around the world. It's going to be interesting. I'm telling you, by the end of this year, we're going to have a lot of announcements. You're going to see a huge collision between traditional finance and crypto. But that collision is going to look more like an embracing. A lot more. I think it's basically going to turn into, how could you be a bank and not have crypto services? How can you be a crypto exchange and not have certain banking services? Huh? Yeah. And let me tell you something on the banking side. I think this is where, a Morgan Stanley blows everybody else away. Like with a quickness. Citi would have to be playing catch up. Bank of America would have to be playing catch up. Wells Fargo is in such trouble they can't even think about playing catch up. I think they're going to get split, right? You've got a lot of banks that would be sitting there going, oh, whoa, we gotta. And now you know why I said you would have companies like a TradingView and others. There are other companies like TradingView. I just love TradingView. That could be on the chopping block. That could be up for grabs because others would have to catch the heck up. Because if you're building an investment business, you're building your wealth business like Citi is, and Morgan Stanley does something like that, Citi who? Citi who? That's what that would turn into. The heck, why would I go to you? I can go over here. I can do my banking. I get E-Trade, and I get crypto along with it. Oh, I'm going over here, son. I did a study. I did a report a while ago. Morgan Stanley makes more money than Citi on a per employee basis. Morgan Stanley has less employees and makes more money than Citi. At least that was when I did it a few months ago. Yeah. Morgan Stanley would be just walking down Wall Street, slapping the nonsense out of everybody. Didn't see that coming, did you? Be freaking awesome. Freaking awesome. The day that happens, because I don't think they're going to walk away from it. I think they're going to do it. I think they floated that bubble to make sure that they're walking down the right path. And I'm one of those people that's telling them, do it. Do it. Do it, please. Do it. Hurry up. Yeah. That's how enthusiastic I am about it. Then you've got Marathon Digital CEO saying that Bitcoin could hit $200,000 by the end of 2025. And I'm just like, huh? Are you serious? Because something like this, I think, would push Bitcoin way beyond that number. Imagine the savvy people that are already trading on E-Trade having direct access. That would mean that you'd have way more people getting involved and more exchanges saying, yeah, we can't help you. We can't maintain those OTC transactions anymore. We need our reserves because we got these people coming on. Yeah. Crypto.com is making this move because they can see what's coming. They can see that wave coming. And they want to be prepared. Smart. Very, very smart. So then you look on the other side. We've been talking about, the banking side. Let's talk about the crypto side. So crypto.com does this. How long will it be before the rest of the exchanges, at least in the United States, start to do this? I'm telling you, it's going to have a wave effect. If E-Trade does what they're floating the bubble about, Coinbase will have to move quick. Gemini would have to move quick. If you're a Gemini, I'm not even playing. You could get bought. If you're a smaller exchange operating in the United States, you could get bought. Somebody's probably already sniffing around, talking, you look cooked. Let's snatch that up. Just saying, right? So then you have a California resident suing DBS Bank out in Singapore, Fubon Bank, and Chongqing Bank in Hong Kong, both of those two banks in Hong Kong, because they got taken on a pig butchering scam. They contacted on LinkedIn, looked like, a crypto investment firm, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Next thing you know, the funds are being transferred to those three banks. And the person is saying, listen, basic banking, KYC, AML rules should have caught these transactions. Oh, the implications are ridiculous. The implications there are ridiculous. I'm willing to think that these three banks are going to come together and figure out a way to make this go away. And that's most likely going to be to make Ken Liam the alleged victim, and those guys the alleged, defendants. I would think that they're going to make that go away, because what Ken Liam's attorneys are saying is that they're citing negligence and violation of U.S. Bank Secrecy Act. Ooh. You don't want to have those kind of problems. You do not want to have those kind of problems. You're going to want to make, it's only $1 million. DBS Bank could poop that and not even miss it. Be a rounding error. I think the three banks are going to come together and they're going to figure out who's paying what portion, and they're going to make this go away. And they're going to step up, because you don't want the U.S. scrutiny on your bank. I'm telling you, seriously, you do not want the U.S. coming at you for know your customer, KYC, and anti-money laundering rules, AML. You don't want them looking over your shoulder because of this. You want this to go away with a quickness. I think he's going to get paid. I think he's going to get paid that and cover his legal expenses. That's going to be big. If they don't make that go away, that's going to become a big problem for them, a really big problem. So somehow, some way, I think that gets fixed. Somehow, some way, I think that gets fixed. Right? Anyway, you know what we should do? That's right. We should get into the numbers. Let's get that out of the way. And so today we're going to wind up seeing just ISM manufacturing, some Fed speak, and auto sales numbers. I'm really interested in the auto sales numbers. That comes out later on this evening at about 6 p.m. But I'm definitely interested in that. Fear and greed index is at 74. Yesterday it was at 70, so that's actually a really good thing. DeFi Llama, we're down. Wow. No, it didn't load. It did not load. Let's see if we can refresh it. There's the TVL, $134.912 billion in total value locked. It's basically $135 billion. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. On an uptrend. Awesome. And here's what we're doing with Bitcoin. So we shot up last night or yesterday and then into last night, and now you see it coming down. That's profit taking. I think we're going to wind up testing 99 again, 99,655. But imagine, we're still consolidating within this band. That band being between 93,434 and 99,655. We're bouncing between this band, this narrow band. We had a couple of breakouts right there, right here. That's great. and a couple of breakouts to the bottom. This was a fluke. Right here, right here, right here. Not worried about it. That's fine. That's fine. But I suspect that we're going to be in that band for a little bit. Think inauguration. Think inauguration. Then you have on the big board what's going on. To me, I just see a lot of sales. I see a lot of opportunity. Cardano, H-bar, let's see, ADA, DOT, Avalanche, even Litecoin, Sui, Doge. I mean, I can just sit here and just look at all of these numbers. Solana was below 200 just a few days ago, and now it's at 214. I'm telling you, I'm sitting back and I'm saying to myself, these are big opportunities to get in, but there are so many opportunities. How do I look at that? And I go back and I look at the year-to-date information. That's cute. That's awesome. But what I really look for is right here. What's the GMBX factor on some of those things? So looking at the losers, start with the losers. Look at the losers and you kind of go, yeah, okay. Usual is down 9.9, basically 10%. GMBX factor of 0.73. Peak is down 8.57. GMBX factor of 0.17. That's only profit taking. I think Peak is going to take off. Virtuals is taking off, but it's profit taking again with a GMBX factor of 0.18, right? Down 7.46%. Yeah. Hyperliquid, same thing. GMBX factor of 0.48, down 7.41. I'm not upset about that. That's a little bit of profit taking, right? You go down the list and you're kind of like, yeah, okay. I guess I could see some things in here that give me optimism, right? Anything below 5%, you know my 5% rule. I don't pay attention to it. I'll pay attention to two times every. I'll pay attention today, tomorrow, and see what that sway is. Did you go from like the JITO go from negative 4.62% loss to a positive 2 point something? See how that creates that move. That's why I pay attention to it. Gotius Maximus down big, 6.77% with a GMBX factor of 1.6. I'm sorry, 1.46. All right, let's take a look at the winners. Let's see. Cardano's up over 10.5% with a GMBX factor of 1.87. Yeah, Cardano's going to blow through that. SNEC is up 12.77% with a GMBX factor of 0.29. SNEC's been on the move. SNEC has been on the move. It was hot before, and it looks like it's heating up again now. The Sandbox is up 8.47% with a GMBX factor of 12.03. I don't know if they're going to make that 12.03, but I know that they're going to go up. Grass is up. They got added to that grayscale list. They're up 7.54% with a GMBX factor of 0.21. That's because they keep hitting new highs. I'm telling you, there are lots of things on here to pay attention to. Hedera H-bar up 7.42% with a GMBX factor of 0.80. They're going to blow through their all-time high for sure. That's definitely what's going to happen. Tau BitTensor is up 7.22% with a GMBX factor of 0.36. Pay attention. Pay attention. Right? BitTensor they're in the top 50 coins. These are not easy moves to make. Not easy moves to make at all. Right? $4.5 billion in market cap. I'm telling you, just pay attention to some of these things. Gala is up 2 days in a row, 5.95%, GMBX factor of GMBX factor of 18.53. What? Yeah, I don't think they're going to make that. I know they're not going to make that. Nope, not going to happen. Not going to happen. But can they do well? Clearly. If you're like, so there comes a point where you got to stop and say, well, what do you think their high potential is going to be, and you got to do some math, because it's not going to be 18. It's not going to be 18.53x. I'll tell you that right now. Decentraland, I think the gaming space is going to grow, and Decentraland is one of those big players. 5.75 upward momentum with a 9.85, GMBX factor. Do I think they're going to make it compared to the Sandbox at 12.03? I don't think they're going to make it either, but I think they're going to get closer to it. I think gaming in the Web3 space is on a slow roll up. And the next thing you know, you'll be looking at these two holdings over the next couple of years, and you'll be like, wow, They're hitting new all-time highs. Wow. I'm telling you, gaming is a place to be in. Gaming is one of those places that I look at. Yeah, there's nothing else after that. Polkadot, 5.35%, GMBX factor 6.13. I think Polkadot could do it. But this is why I created the GMB crypto tracker. It helps me put things in perspective. It really does. And if you want the desktop version has the top 250 coins along with their GMBX factor. And you sit there and you're kind of like, wow, that's going to help me make some decisions. Because I was looking at this one, but this one in the same sector has a GMBX factor of this. And depending on what my trading, style is, I might go for this versus that. It gives you a really good comparison. Anyway, everybody, this is Eddie J on crypto for growmybag.tv. If you like what I'm doing, do me a favor, hit the notification bell so you know every time I drop a new video. Don't forget, usually weeknights, just about every single weeknight, we have another live. Tonight will be Friday Flips because it's Friday. And we'll have Friday Flips at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be ready for it. There's going to be a lot of conversation. And I know that E-Trade piece, I know that crypto.com piece, I know that's going to be a big topic. And then also, go over to growmybag.tv/sign-up and become a big bagger. Why? We have, for big baggers, a once a month, currently only once a month. We'd like to see that increase. With more people becoming big baggers, we'll increase the number of big bagger video conference calls that only happens for them. So join us and see what happens. Become a big bagger. Everybody have a good one, and thank you so much for your time. Bye-bye.